This is RFLEX. Already I'm liking the aesthetic. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but this is actually like a tube TV aesthetic. It's pretty cool looking. It definitely gives you that old school vibe, and it all feels just slightly distorted enough that you can really get the feel for it. This is actually the kind of aesthetic I've been going for my logos and everything, but done by an actual artist, so you can see what I've been trying to do. This is my game. I did this. I wish. Alright, let's take a look at RFLEX here. So, it looks like I have grade F on amusements. Now, what I'm liking here very much already is the level select design. This is really cool how you kind of get a preview of the inner workings of the level, what it's going to be like right inside of a hexagon. This game was very heavily influenced by Super Hexagon, and I can already see that influence, but I can see its own originality throughout. So as we go through, it's still the same hexagon and everything, but you're just seeing things a little bit different depending on what the level is, level of difficulty, if you will. God, I can't even imagine touching that. So we'll start off with amusement and see where that takes us. And it takes you right in. It all loads really quickly in and everything. It's very nice. Survive for 60 seconds. Okay. Ooh, and here comes the... Wow, I looked away for a second. I looked away for 1 second. Let's not do that. Wow. It's actually... It comes at you really quick from beneath. I do like how quickly everything's happening, though. Getting back into the game was really quick. The music's really great. Ah, going right into it. I love that death animation, too. Tells you right above how close you were to winning. Very cool. What you really got to look out for, though, is not the objects, but the lines. You got to look for those lines just before they come in, so you get a general idea. Oh! Acting too quick. You got to get a general idea of where they're going to be coming from before you even see them. And I am loving the music, and you know what I'm really loving about the music? I'm loving the fact that the music doesn't restart whenever you restart the level. I can't tell you how much of a pet peeve that is of mine. And the fact that it's continuing right where it left off with a fade in already says that I love this game. I already love everything about the fact that they did that. That's just instant win in my book. Ah, I didn't hold it long enough. Now, one thing you might be thinking, you might not notice this by watching, but my object doesn't stay wherever I put it. I have to actually hold it there. So I go back to the center immediately as like a neutral zone, so I have to make sure that I stay out long enough. Which can be a little disorienting because of the disorientation tactics being thrown at me with the wiggling screen and everything, the LSD trip feeling. Now, the sound design, I gotta give major credit to. There's these lovely sound cues that are coming in, such as when I've made a new record, such as when I get hit, such as when I would kind of like a sound cue for dodging that kind of went with the music. That'd be kind of cool, but I can see it actually overshadowing the music that way. So I think it's in a happy place where it is right now. 21 more seconds than I could have lived. But you'll notice I'm also getting a letter grade for however well I do, so even if I don't win, I'll still have a high score of some sort, which is pretty good. And this is the easy mode. But I'm really loving the whole vibe of this game so far. It has a brilliant aesthetical polish to it. It's pretty astounding, I gotta say. Well done. Well done. This is definitely a game that wasn't, that didn't have its style thrown together at the last second. This is a game that was planned around its aesthetic. And I think it does a good job with it. Now, I do wonder how complex it's going to get down the line, because if it's just these squares coming at me, I think I could get used to it and probably beat any difficulty of it eventually. Obviously, it's going to be harder, but it's a question of how much harder, more than anything. And this is beautiful music, I need to just say that again. Absolutely beautiful music. Just needed to shut up there to give you a little bit of an idea of how beautiful this music is. It's very fitting. Very, very fitting. Now, I wonder if at the higher levels where everything goes really fast, if that's going to like have much more sped up music and more demonic. Let's find out, shall we? So let's go check out, just for the heck of it, let's check out the hardest difficulty. Oh my god. Okay. That went about as quick as I expected it to. New high score, though. So there's like one safe square. You have to determine the one safe square immediately in some of these situations. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Why did I do this to myself? But I just love how quickly you can get back in the action, even before the death animation is done. Let's get back in the action. Not enough games understand the concept of getting people back in the action quick enough. This game gets it. There's no delay. If you can press spacebar, you're back in. If I can dodge one wave, I'll be happy. Go, go, nope, not that one. Nope. There we go. New record! I'll take the new record and go. Alright, so we're not doing Death Wish again for a while, but let's check out Challenge. So this is the next level. And as I expected, the music does obviously shift depending on the level. Oh boy, so they're coming from both sides now. And it's surprising how much the screen wobbling is actually as disorienting as it is. I didn't think it'd be this disorienting. It looks like a game that'd be super simple, but somehow this little disorientation does really make a difference. Especially when it comes from two sides rather. Really gotta pay close attention. I should have stayed up. So it does lend itself to a really good arcade-style game. But as to what can be changed, I wonder if it does enough. I mean, we saw what it looks like on Death Wish, and it's basically just a question of them coming at you quicker and more disoriented. So it's got a good grasp of its own mechanics, but I wonder if it could use more mechanics, more to kind of keep you invested. Now, another game that I played prior called Dodge had a very similar style to it, but one thing that it had that this game doesn't was it had iframes, which meant you could time it perfectly, so you could actually go through a box before it hit you and be on the other side. If you timed it just right, you'd be invulnerable. But of course, that was a very advanced tactic, but that was an advanced tactic, an advanced mechanic that you could actually learn on your own. This game, just by looking at it, you can see how I'm kind of sliding over. You never blink out of existence for any moment, so there's no way that could possibly happen. And I'm not saying that that's a good or a bad thing, I'm just pointing out a different mechanic that got in the game, in the other game. It might be worth looking into other mechanics for this game, too. It might be worth considering other mechanics for this game, too. Advanced mechanics that advanced players could utilize that normal players just wouldn't get. But I do feel like it's... I do wonder how well I'd do in a version of this game without the wobbling. I'm not saying it's bad that it has the wobbling by any stretch of the imagination. That adds to the game. It adds the aesthetic. I think it's a brilliant addition. But I'm curious how well I do. I feel like I would do better. But I don't really know for sure, so it's really more just a question for my own curiosity than anything. I feel like the center is probably the least safe spot. It gives you the least amount of... It gives you an equal amount of time to react to everything, but at the same time it also... You could get more time if you correctly guess where it's going to come from first. So like if I know it's coming from above first, I can hold down and kind of plan accordingly. So there might be a little advanced tactical stuff here I'm not thinking of. But it is absolutely shocking how tricky this game is. When I was watching it originally, I thought it was just going to be a really easy game. Could not have been more wrong. But it plays quite well, it looks beautiful, and it sounds beautiful. I don't know if there's really much more to say about it other than it's just a really nice game. Lifestyle, huh? Oh boy, here we go. I'm actually holding my own! How's this? Oh! I should have done that well. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Now, you might notice on the top right, it's actually keeping track of the number of tries you've done, so it almost feels like the impossible game in that regard. Just to kind of mess with you. It's like, you've tried this so many times. Get good. Oh, but I love this soundtrack. The soundtrack alone should convince you to buy this game. To push ahead and just hear more by doing better. But you can easily see the minimalistic style here. It's always one color on another color, and it looks absolutely beautiful with that lovely scan line going across like that in the tube TV style. Absolutely marvelous. Oh my. Not too shabby. Alright, one last level to try. This is the middle ground between them all. Let's see how we do here. Now, I wonder if you could have a level that actually has auditory cues based off the music. So, like, what if the music kind of gave... The beat of the music gave you an indication as to when things were going to start coming in. So you could actually start realizing something's going to come in. Look, 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 look. And then you'd be on the lookout. You'd be a little more prepared for them. Now, that's obviously a double-edged sword because people would be more prepared for them. But at the same time, it'd give a more rhythm game feel to the game, you know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't have to be the main game. I'm talking more as like maybe a secondary game, a secondary feature of the game. it'd be kind of cool if you had a rhythm-based thing going with this, because you're already clearly invested in a solid sound and musical aesthetic to this game. It'd be cool if you could kind of just gear more towards that, get a little more going out of it. Plus, you get a little more longevity out of the game that way too. And then you can make it even cooler. Maybe you get it if you can figure out an algorithm that works. Maybe you get it working with anyone's music. If you want to go like really, really far into it, I don't know how viable that is. I know Audio Surf has done it to death, but other games have done it pretty well. Beat Hazard did it. Audio Surf did it, and there we go. Nah, it's close. New record. I'll take it. But I do wonder how much more could be done with the game. It feels like it's definitely a solid game as it is, but it definitely feels like there could be more to it. You know, I don't know how long a game like this would sustain me. I feel like at most I'd go to get a grade A on everything, and then after that, where would I go? That's the real question. Where would I go from there? Well, I gotta say from here, I think it's a great game as it is. I just think it needs more if you really want to engage your audience and keep them invested. Maybe some kind of a multiplayer component, not so much multiplayer, but a leaderboards component, something along those lines, something that gets the competitive community against one another in this game. Steam high scores would be a great example, achievements, obviously. There's a lot of ways you could go with this, but just something to keep people invested. But as it stands right now, this is RFLEX, a very lovely, lovely Dodge game. Very well done. Thank you.